Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about something different from all previous subjects, because here we have Horton HOR 229. It is molded in 1/72 scale and it comes from Zoukei-Mura. But what is even more interesting about this kit is that we get two kits here. So as you can see, 144 is also included inside, so basically you get two models inside, and it is as detailed as its bigger brother in 148 and 132 scale. So now we have a full family in all possible scales. And you can copy this quite unusual German aircraft in 132nd, 148, 172nd and 144 scale. This is a commercial sample, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you see in this video review, and we are going to open it, take a look inside, check all parts closer, and of course decide whether it's worth getting or not. So first of all, box size, I would say it's typical for Zoukei-Mura small scale kits. Here you can see comparison with my hand. Box art is quite nice. Then on the side we have short list of the features which are written in Japanese and English. Actually, this is a safety note. And here, by the way, you can see comparison between both models in 1/72 and 144. Here we have features list, but it is written in Japanese only, so we are not able to understand it. Here you can see also pictures of the finished model, and I guess you can understand what I was talking about when I said that this kit is absolutely the same as the bigger brothers. This is a top opening box, so just give me a second to open it. And here is what we have inside. So as usual for this brand, we have all plastic frames packed into the separate plastic bags, and all those bags are sealed bags. So we are going to open them one by one and check everything closer in this video. So I will need scissors in order to open it, and in the meantime let me remind you that you can support us financially. It is quite easy to do because we have the special donate button on our website, so you just click it and choose the amount you would like to send us via PayPal, and it will be quite quickly on our account, and it will be used for new photo and video equipment. And as you know, we are a non-profit channel, so that's why your support is crucial for us. So here we have first plastic sprue. This one is designed for use with 1/72 scale kit. So as you can see here we have wing halves, and external detailing is quite typical for such stuff. We have recessed panel lines. Ailerons and flaps are pre-molded, so you won't be able to retract them, and we can take a closer look at those parts. So here you can see external detailing of those elements. In my opinion, it is quite decent, especially for such size. And if you flip over this part, here inside you can see that we get some of the internal structure. I do not see any guiding elements because we have them on here. So all those wing edges, they will actually serve as the guiding elements for the lower halves, like it or not, but there are no guiding pins. And as you can see, attachment points are thin enough in order to be carefully separated, so I think you won't have any issue with those areas. Okay, next we go on with another plastic sprue, and again another sealed plastic bag, so again I need to use scissors. And small note, I mean, we reviewed previous Horton releases as well, so you can find them on our YouTube channel, and I recommend to check them because those kits are even more detailed than what you are seeing here, and maybe you will like it more and you will try to build a bigger scale copy of the famous Horton. So here we have landing gear parts. We also have some parts for the engine, as far as I can guess, and that's, I'm not sure what is this. Maybe that's a frontal landing gear leg. Maybe we have a small amount of flash here. I can zoom in so that you can see it closer. Nevertheless, those are quite thin parts. Here you can see comparison with my fingertip, and some of them are really tiny, so you have to use tweezers in some cases. Landing gear will also look okay, but as you can see you have to glue them out of two halves, so if you have a chance to get a resin replacement, I would recommend to do so in order to get a more or less convincing finish. I mean, even in 1/72 scale it should be worth it, and as you can see, nose landing gear wheels are molded as one-piece parts. Note that here we have the frontal leg molded together with this wheel arch, let's say, so you have to combine two hulls, and of course you will have to be extra careful in this joint spot between those two mud guards. For some modelers it might be tricky, for some modelers it will be okay. I mean, we all have different experience, so let's admit it. I mean, there is nothing strange in this. But if you are brave enough to start such project in 1/72nd scale, I guess you will be fine with such features. So next we get another plastic sprue. This one is dedicated to 144 scale kit, and here we get slightly different design because, as you can see, here whole wing is molded together with engine gondolas, and as far as I can guess, we have also wing pre-molded here. As you can see, pitot tube is also here. Let's zoom in even more so that you can see it closer. And this lower section will be inserted here. I guess cockpit still will be cockpit. Yeah, here we have the pilot seat. Obviously there is no PE included because usually Zoukei-Mura does not use any PE in the box. You can buy it separately, but that's pretty much all. Detailing here is quite nice. I'm a bit confused because I see the molded in engine gondolas and they look a bit unusual to me, but I mean, overall design is really good. Unusual in the sense because, I mean, usually manufacturers mold this area of the aircraft separately, and now we have it pre-molded, so it should speed up the assembly process. And I mean, you should also keep in mind the size of this kit, so that's why it was decided to choose such parts division. In 1/72nd scale we have completely different design, and now we are going to check another set of fuselage panels for 1/72nd scale kit. So just give me a second. Okay, so what do we have here is the top fuselage cover, and also here we have the lower one as far as I can guess. That's the tail section. Here we have engine parts, and again molding quality looks really great. These are steel, those pale gray plastic parts. And I think inside we have some detailing as well. It is present there because this model features some interior parts, so that's why you can expose everything what is hidden inside, and that's really cool because in 1/72nd scale it might look even more impressive in my opinion. Next we have here another plastic bag, but this time it comes with foam. I can guess that here we are given the clear parts, so let's open it and check whether it's true or not. Okay, so yeah, here we have canopy parts. As you can see, they were wrapped into foam in order to avoid any possible damage. Molding quality looks completely fine. We have also the separate windscreen, so basically you can build the open cockpit as well, as far as I can guess. But masks are not included, so if you would like to cover it with masks, you have to resort to aftermarket or do it with your own hands. That's, by the way, the 1/72nd scale part, and in a second we'll check the 144 scale kit part. Here it is. It is also wrapped into the special foam and packed into the separate plastic bag. Okay. So here part should be smaller, obviously, and here it is. This time manufacturer decided to choose a one-piece design, so you won't be able to open the cockpit, but I think it's not necessary in 144 scale, and I mean that would be strange to ask for the openable cockpit, even though some manufacturers do this. Here Zoukei-Mura decided to opt out from this in order to get a better appearance. Next we go on with another part for 1/72nd scale kit, and here it is a bit more interesting because we get the front, let's say, fuselage mask. So just give me a sec. And this front fuselage mask, it is molded as a one-piece element. As you can see, it is matter of just cutting off the sprue and installing. Obviously it will be better than trying to combine two hulls together and then get an ugly seam here in the middle. So it's just a careful separation of this part, what will matter, and then you'll be good to go. Inside, as you can see, there is pretty much nothing, so it's just the frontal mask for this aircraft. Next we get plenty of interesting stuff. So here you can see plastic sprue with various internals. So even though we get 1/72nd scale set, Zoukei-Mura decided to go for some interior detailing, and in my opinion it's really a great idea because we don't get that many 1/72nd scale kits with, let's say, proper interior detailing. Some manufacturers just decide to close the canopy. I mean, we still get one-piece canopy kits in 2020, but not here. So let's open it. These are really thin parts, so you have to be careful while handling them, and even more careful while separating them, because as you can see, these are one-piece sub-assemblies and they're quite thin, they're quite tender, and it will be easy to break them. So let's zoom in even more. Here we have wing struts, and also here, as you can see, we have this skeleton, let's say, parts. So really impressive in my opinion, but you have to do a lot of cleaning because of impressive amount of attachment points. I mean, you won't be able to avoid it, so be ready for this. Next we go on with another sprue for 1/72nd scale kit. So here we have front masks for air intakes. Okay, here you can see it. Let's zoom in. Here we have front masks, also we have the one-piece pilot seat and various external and internal parts. So for the pilot seat I would recommend to think of the seat belts in order to add some fine touch, but otherwise everything looks fine. Here you can see parts from another side, and that's really cool to see that pilot seat is molded as one-piece element. Next we go on with two plastic frames with engine parts. So here they are, nicely detailed engines, and it's really great that we have both engines included, because some manufacturers do it in such way that we get only one engine and you can open it and expose, and another engine gondola is empty. Here we have two plastic frames with the same set of parts. So let's zoom in. Here you can check those engine parts closer. That's really great pre-molded details. But it will be required from you to do some fine painting, because obviously you won't be able to paint them with airbrush. You will have to use the pointed brush and do a bit of brush painting. Also, it will remind you about your first modeling days. I mean, we all started with brush and then we moved to airbrush. So here you get a chance to polish your brushing skills. Next we get last grey plastic sprue, so just give me another moment to open it. So what do we get here is the wings parts. So as you can see, these are internals, fuel tanks and also wing struts, and overall it's really great that we have them as one-piece elements. It means you won't have to work with separate tabs, you just have them pre-molded and ready to be installed into the wing. As you can see from the bottom, you have to install those separate panels for closing those fuel tanks from the bottom, because otherwise it looks weird. I can zoom in and you understand what I'm talking about. Okay. And next we have another plastic bag. Here it is. So let's open it. Here manufacturer decided to pack the Decals sheet and also assembly manual. As far as you can see, there are no masks inside, so don't even think about masks. But at least decals look decent, so I will show them in a second. There is no mention where it was printed. Here you can see them. But we have all necessary symbols for both scales. Also we have full number register, which is also quite cool. We have cockpit decals for both scales, which is also surprising. I do not see seatbelt decals though, but we have swastika decals as well included. So really nice decals. I hope it will be easy to work with them. They might look a bit thick, so some decal softening solution will solve it. And last but not the least is this brochure, black and white brochure with assembly guide. So on the first page we have short history note. It is not as detailed as in the bigger scale browsers, and in order to understand what I'm talking about, I recommend to watch the reviews at least of the 148 scale kit. Here we go on with paint numbers. Assembly process starts with engine, as you can see. Then we assemble whole internal structure, so it will include also the fuselage and cockpit area. Here you can see the installation of the pilot seat into the necessary spot. Then we continue with the heat shield plates. Here we install the wing fastening rib frame. So all this stuff will have to be combined together. So basically you are assembling the skeleton of this aircraft and then joining it or enclosing it into the fuselage halves. Here, by the way, you can see the engine attachment process. Then we go with linkage rods. Here we install the upper frame, so it will be enclosing the engines inside. And here you can see top and front view. Next we continue with support ribs. Of course, the right wing fuel tanks. As you remember, I said you have to attach those separate panels for the fuel tanks, and next you install them into the wing parts. Next we continue with closing wing together. And that's not that much understandable. I mean, before Zoukei-Mura was including the clear panels for such purpose. Here we have the gray plastic, so obviously when you close them, all internal structure will be hidden, and I mean, you can forget about it. So you have to think of the way how to open it, how to expose it on your model, maybe to do some cutouts, maybe to do some open areas. It will be up to you, but I would recommend to think about such stuff. Next we go on with important section. So as you can see, it's written check this first, but that's basically the process of attachment wings, fuselage panels, and also the frontal area of the fuselage. Here you can see each step in detail. Here, by the way, you can see work on the landing gear. Next we continue with installation of the landing gear doors. I always get confused. The bigger wheel goes in the front on Horton. The smaller wheels go on the main landing gear wheel. So actually the main landing gear wheel should be glued out of, nose landing gear wheel should be glued out of two halves. And here, by the way, you can see the final step or final appearance of the aircraft. Next we go on with 144 scale kit. Here, this one will be a bit faster, obviously, because of the simplified design. We don't have the internal structure in this kit. Still, it should be quite an interesting build in my opinion, especially if you pay attention to various minor details and also spend some time painting. You will get a decent copy in a small size. Here we have parts map, here we have marking guide, which is printed in black and white, which is not that cool in my opinion. And that's the full gallery of other kits from Zoukei-Mura. So as I said, we have the Horton in 132nd, and we also have Horton in 148. I reviewed them on our YouTube channel, so you can check them right after this video review. As for this kit, it should be already available in all good model shops. I think even the official Zoukei-Mura website sells them. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about this kit here in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!